No, it's not a book review. Unfortunately, not yet. I will review this book though. Which is the one I want? Cal Newport says that you should not get a normal job. I disagree. I think he's wrong. And this video is why. Why I think he's wrong. Cal Newport, his book, How to Win at College, is, before you message Cal Newport, "Hi Cal Newport, there's this mong of a YouTuber called Sam Hallett, and he hates your book, you know. So go and cancel him." How, please shush. Cal Newport, I love your books. I think Deep Work's amazing. I haven't read Slow Productivity yet, but I will. And also How to Become a Straight A Student is also a great book. I love this book as well, How to Win at College. And I know it's very Americanized, but obviously his audience was American students. Page 98, depending on which publisher, but number 40, don't get a normal job. I absolutely disagree. Quote from the book: "The key factor here is what type of job you get. Don't work retail in town. Don't serve food at a local restaurant. Don't paint houses or help move furniture. Don't work at a campus dining hall. Don't file papers at an office. These jobs will be distracting, demanding of your time, and energy draining." I think that, firstly, you know, he does say that you should get a job. He doesn't say don't get a job. He says get a job at university. That's his main point. So if you're at university and you're not working in any way, shape or form, then 100% you're a retard, a bum, and you should be working. You're wasting a massive opportunity. But I have 3 reasons why I think he's wrong. And I feel like you should get any sort of job you can. I don't disagree with the fact that he thinks that you should get a job at university. I think that's a good idea. I think, yeah, if you can get a job at university and the places aren't full, 100% you should. But I also think that working retail in town, or being a waiter at a local restaurant, or filing papers at an office was another one of his examples, are not completely unnecessary jobs, you know? And I mean, for example, I worked as some form of waiter in Dutch, it's called in horeca, just as like a weekend job, mainly Saturdays, Sundays. Previously, it was a couple of days in the week as well. I enjoy it. I think it's taught me a lot, especially how to communicate with people and working under some sort of time pressure and structuring my day. Which leads me on to my first point. A job forces structure into your life. Something I wrote down was this. Most students think having a job takes time away from university. But yeah, as I said, I think it actually forces you to use your time properly. I think that's a much better way of thinking about it, you know? During my first year, I actually didn't have a job. I was just bumming around, basically. And I was all over the place. I never got anything done. I studied the same amount I study now, you know, and I have a job. I didn't go to the gym every day. I just sort of floated through life in a way because I didn't have any structure. I think it was important that I did get a job just to give me a sense of, you know, urgency is the best way to say it. Also, if you have a job in the evenings, you can't go to the gym in the evenings, which is a good thing because it's busy at that time. But then you have to plan it in the mornings, and I think working out in the morning is substantially better than in the evening. And another thing I wrote down actually was having less time actually makes you more efficient. You know, one thing I will mention it later as well, but if you are going to work, especially in something like horeca or catering, whatever you want to call it, you can't let it override everything else. University is still your priority, you know? It's university and then your job. It's a side job, right? You can't put your side job above university. Anyway, point 2 of this wonderful side job that you're going to get is that you learn real world skills that university just doesn't teach. I mean, I still have a lot to learn, I think, personally, social-wise. But since I've started there, I've 100% become a more social person. I would not have become a more social person if I hadn't have had a job. It's very important. It was difficult when stuff like that happened because I was like, oh, shit. Like, I genuinely feel bad, you know? Obviously, the more I've been there, the more I'm like, you know, fine. Just happens, you know, it's part and parcel of being a waiter. You're just not going to learn that sort of stuff at uni. And that's why getting a job is good. It's important. One thing I should also note is that I don't think you should get a job solely for cash. You know, I think cash should be a side goal of your job. You should get a job to teach you something that you don't know. Whereas the cash that you get from the job is like some sort of added bonus in a way. And say for me, it transfers into interviews, into networking, into anything that you want, and it helps to an extent at university as well. You meet people. I just think Cal Newport, while you're Brilliant author, you've missed the target with this one. Not good enough. Yeah, so I touched on it a bit. Part 3 is it can hurt your focus. There is some potential downside, but I think that's the case with any job you get, even if it was a job at university. It's not automatically a good thing to get a job. If you do it wrong, it can definitely hold you back. You finish the latest one, but if you come home tired and you start skipping lectures and not studying properly because you're getting home so late and because work takes up so much of your time, then that's not good. It's like in the 48 Laws of Power, it's the reversal of the law. At that sort of point, the job is no longer helping, it's more draining you, you know? One time I did that actually. One time I chose a shift instead of studying, and that was wrong because I didn't pass the exam. What a retard. So once again, you should get a job, but it should be not your top focus. But it does teach you a lot of stuff, so don't get a job. I wrote something down here. You have to keep it under control. You want to work enough to gain the benefits, like structure, skills, a bit of money as well, but not work so much that it starts taking away from the fact that you're at university and that should be your main priority. You should get a job, but limit your hours to an extent. And especially in exam periods and when you have deadlines looming, you should make those your priority. Make those your priority. That was it. Conclusion, let's go. For me, working during university isn't about the job itself. It's more about what having a job teaches you, you know? It forces you to become someone that is more structured, more disciplined, more capable, I think, in real world situations. That is something you're just not going to learn at university. But as I say, it only works if you keep it under control. At the end of the day, university gives you a lot of freedom and most people waste it, and you don't want to be that person that wastes it. And I think if you don't have a job yet and you're watching this, maybe thinking about getting a job, I don't think the question is really whether you should work or not. I think the real question that you should ask yourself is, are you actually using your time well? For me personally, a job made me more disciplined. It made me get stuff done quicker, made me more independent and prepared me more for real life. That's good. All right. I wrote down this as well. I don't think that you need the perfect job. I think you just need to stop avoiding responsibility, because a job does give you responsibility. Cal Newport, don't hate me. I like your books. I just disagree with you on this thing. Subscribe, help the algorithm, make me see that you like my videos. And also let me know if you have a job at university. What's your experience like? Do you think it taught you a lot? Do you regret it? Yeah, let me know. Thanks, G's. Doodly doo.